Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome back to Business Innovators Radio. I'm your host, Frank Falker. You know, I'm always fascinated when I meet a licensed practitioner of traditional medicine who's also an endorser of alternative health practices. Today's guest, Dr. Gail Davis, DDS, is an endodontist, or root canal specialist, who previously served as an assistant professor at the Howard University School of Dentistry. But what caught my attention is that she's also the best-selling author of an amazing book titled Eat Well, Live Raw Food Preparation Using 100% Pure Therapeutic Grade Essential Oils. I've asked Dr. Gail to join us today to talk about the impact that processed food is having on our health and what we can all do about it. Dr. Gail Davis, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Frank.
What can you tell us about our diet, about the average American's diet, and the effect that it's having on our health, both as individuals and as a society in total?
Yes, the standard American diet, Frank, actually describes the stereotypical diet of Americans today. 63% of America's calories come from refined and processed foods. That's pretty high. You know, the packaged snacks, potato chips, soft drinks. 25% of America's calories come from animal-based products or foods. And only 12% come from plant-based foods.
Wow.
Now, this standard American diet is also known as the SAD diet.
Why is that? The standard American diet. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. That's great.
Isn't that great acronym?
Yeah.
Because it's leading to standard American diseases today, which is leading to death of Americans. It's sad but true. The United States is the unhealthiest industrialized nation in the world. 64.5% of all Americans, they're either overweight or obese. Even without charts and statistics, all you have to do is look around and see that we're an overweight nation. Now, obesity increases the risk of illness and death due to diabetes, stroke, coronary artery disease, kidney and gallbladder disorders, and even cancer. So the more overweight an individual is, the higher the risk becomes. So it's a serious problem in this nation and in other nations that are mimicking what we're doing here in this country.
Sounds as though we're almost eating ourselves to death.
That's the perfect way of putting that. Absolutely.
I know, it was, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 years ago when I finally became aware of the fact that most of what I was eating was processed food. I didn't even really understand what processed food meant. But once that sort of that light came on in my consciousness, it became pretty hard for me not to be aware of everything that I bought. Is this processed or is this, as you call it, live food, raw food? And so I've tried my best to do better. I certainly have not gotten up to the level that you have. How is it? I know that you also were not always an adherent to this type of a diet, a raw food diet, or and had not become yet aware of essential oils. How is it that you now have embraced this lifestyle? And you even went to the extent of writing a cookbook to help others do the same. Obviously, you had quite a transformational experience. What caused all that?
Frank, I was very ill, stressed out, wacky emotions, and eating that fad diet. I mean, looking at my size, you wouldn't believe that I love to eat, but I do, and I still do. But obviously, at that time, I was eating things that were not good for me. And after I had eaten all that sad food, I noticed I would be hungry like 30 minutes later. And well, no wonder it wasn't really real food, Yeah. And then I watched my body, Frank, just like literally break down in front of my eyes. And I had to make the change or else I would have ended up with a diagnosis I didn't want to hear. I mean, I was truly on my way to that. So I began this massive search for answers, especially being allergic to things that were good for me, And so on my journey, I found out after I spent so much money that the huge role my diet played was incredible. That was where the answer was. So how could I eat healthy without giving up foods I love?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I discovered living food, and I haven't looked back. I found the preparation of the food fun and creative. So, everybody likes a good sweet cookie, every now and then. So I learned how to make them the right way, where it was real nutrient-dense food. And I got so good at it that I decided that I wanted to share my recipes with others. And then that creativity in me popped up again, and I thought, wow, it'd be really cool to just add essential oils to some of these recipes. And I did, and the recipe just seemed to pop after that. So a lot of times, like if I'm going to a dinner party or something like that, I might make a raw food dessert, but I don't tell them it's raw because that just kind of distorts everybody's thought of that. What is she bringing us, And then, it's the first thing to go. And people are asking for the recipe, and when I tell them what's in it, they're like amazed.
It is, if I may interrupt you, I was amazed as I looked at the recipes. There's all kinds of tasty cookies and desserts and cocktails and you name it. It's just mouth watering when you look at the photographs. And then as you look at the ingredients and consider how healthful they all are, it is truly amazing. Are many of these recipes that of your own creation, are there ones that you learned from other people? There are a lot of recipes in this book.
Well, it's a combination of both, and that's just the thing. I wanted to create a cookbook that you don't have to follow my directions. Add your own spin on it and make it your new recipe. So you get the basics, because all the recipes have a basic, and then you add the flavors, or you throw in something that you like, a vegetable or a superfood or whatever that looks like for you. And you can be like as creative as you want to be. It's very fun.
Yeah, it looks like fun, and it's very colorful. The book is extremely colorful. If you would, I think this is a good point to ask you if you just share a couple of your favorite recipes. You don't have to tell us every ingredient, but just a couple of the, desserts or what have you that you have in there that people might be surprised to realize is in a book like this.
Yeah. Well, Frank, I love salads. Salads are my staple, like at least twice a day. If I don't have, there is no day I don't have a salad. I might not have two in a day, but I have to have one in a day because my body just craves it. So making my own salad dressing is a no-brainer. So one of my all-time favorite salad dressings that I know by heart is the basil salad dressing. Oh, my gosh, it is so good. And a lot of times the reason I use the oils is because I like fresh basil. It's so different getting organic basil from the market as opposed to going out in the summer and picking it from the land. Totally different flavor, because I was part of a food co-op at a point in time. So sometimes, I'll just use the basil oil, and it's still just as good. Now, I'm a smoothie girl, so I love the orange creamsicle smoothie. And the reason I love that is because I like to have my fresh squeezed orange juice every morning. There's just no reason to drink orange juice out of a carton. It's just so easy. So I'll take some of the orange juice to make my creamsicle smoothie. So I have it for multiple reasons, a couple of reasons there to have the juice on hand. And then my favorite desserts, I eat for breakfast. Is that crazy?
As long as they're healthy, right?
Exactly. And you can eat them for breakfast, like the banana crepes with tangerine cream. And then you just, pack it with whatever fruit that you like. The recipes are very versatile. So a lot of the dessert recipes, chia pudding, for instance, you can have for breakfast and not feel guilty about it. And the benefit, I think, of all these recipes is that they taste good. And it's real food that your body recognizes. You're satisfied, so you don't eat as much.
Mm-hmm. Body recognizes it and knows how to process it.
Exactly. They're very nutrient dense. So, you don't need to eat a whole lot.
Now, what about essential oils? What exactly are essential oils, and how do you use them in your recipes, as well as what benefits do they offer us?
Well, essential oils is really the immune system of the plant. So they're extracted from the plant by various processes, primarily the distillation process. And they've been used forever, way back during the times of the Egyptians. So they've been around a long time. I remember everybody knows the story of baby Jesus, how the wise men brought frankincense and myrrh along, with gold to baby Jesus. So they've been around a very, very long time. And they've just now, I would say over the past 10 years, have come to the forefront where they're actually extracting the oils from these plants because they're seeing the benefits.
Mm-hmm. So it's like super concentrated. The benefit of whatever the plant is concentrated into this oil?
It's very concentrated. It's not mixed with anything, but it's just the oil itself. Now, you do have to be careful because some of the oils that they sell in these stores are laced with different solvents. So clearly you don't want to ingest anything like that. You have to do your homework. I happen to love doTERRA oils, but you have to do your research. I know Young Living was the first pioneer of essential oils, and then doTERRA came along, and there may be others out there, but it's important to do your research. Just because Whole Foods is this organic market, as everybody knows it to be, that does not mean everything in there is good for you. Because I had gone in there one day before I even knew about doTERRA and bought lavender oil, and I was asking her about ingesting it. She goes, no, you need to go on the site and look and to see what's in it, the young lady that was working over there. I wouldn't do that. These are not meant to ingest. I was like, okay. Now, when I was introduced to doTERRA oils, I could actually smell the difference between that particular oil, which was more expensive at Whole Foods, and doTERRA. It was almost like I could smell extra ingredients, like maybe a solvent or something like that in that oil that was not in the doTERRA oil, which is just pure from the lavender plant. So one of my recipes in there is lavender blueberry cheesecake. So I use a couple drops of the lavender oil in that recipe to get that flavor with the blueberries. So you really have to do your homework, Frank, because you can't ingest all these oils.
Tell me, if you would, 3 or 4 different oils and flavors, or however you would refer to them, and what the benefits of each of them are, please.
Okay, a few of my favorites. My number one favorite is lemon. You remember lemon drops? They're terrible for your teeth, but the lemon drop candies. Okay, so the lemon oil smells just like that. And every morning when I wake up, just to get my body detoxifying in the morning, I don't always have lemon in my house. I don't always have it. So I will just take a glass of filtered water and add a drop of lemon and just start my day off just like that, lemon water. And I love peppermint because, sometimes we can get a little sluggish during the day. And so that peppermint, I just kind of breathe that, and it just pops me right back in place, with alertness.
I love the fragrance of mint, yeah.
Oh, I know. It's awesome. And it also adds a little kick to my chocolate smoothie, so that's always nice, too. I use the lavender every night to help me sleep better. And anytime, of course, any minor scrape or burn, it just takes that sting away. And then one I use in my practice that my patients love is wild orange. The fact that it smells amazingly great, it's so uplifting, and it's great for anxiety because as a root canal specialist, you can only imagine that I deal with anxiety every single day.
I bet.
So they tell me, oh my gosh, this is great. It's calming my heart rate down. So, that's a staple in my office.
I'm curious about one question that comes to mind as you were describing those. Obviously, you're a trained medical professional. You spent years at university and went through all kinds of different training and have years of experience. Was it difficult for you to sort of open your heart and your mind to these alternative remedies?
No, Frank, not at all. It may have been in the beginning, but it took me getting ill and doing my own research to realize that going to doctor, and all they wanted to do was give me a prescription, it didn't make sense to me. It's like there's got to be something more. I was suffering a great deal with allergies. And I remember one day I had gone over to Whole Foods to get some tofu, a salad, off the bar, and I came back and had a violent reaction. So I started looking up soy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's what I'm eating. And that put me on my journey. And I was just grasping for more information on health. I'd go to health conferences and learn as much as I could. And I stumbled upon the essential oils, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I started using them and seeing the benefit of getting well quickly. So it made me a believer of all the natural aspects of the earth as opposed to the prescription drugs.
Interesting. I can imagine where if you tried something and suddenly you felt much more well, that wouldn't take much more convincing than that, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
Now, the title of your book, pun intended, is quite a mouthful. I'll just repeat it again. Eat Well, Live Raw Food Preparation Using 100% Pure Therapeutic Grade Essential Oils. And so the recipes combine raw food with the essential oils. Who did you have in mind when you were writing this book? Did you have sort of a picture in your mind of who your reader would be or who you were trying to target?
I did, because I'm a type A personality. And when I would follow regular traditional recipes, I followed them to a T, and they still didn't come out right. What is going on here? I know I can read. I know what I put in. I was really anal about things. I'm so much better now. So I was thinking about these same type of people like me that really inside of all that is a creative bunch like me. So I wanted to put together a fun and easy yet tasty recipes where people could add their own flavor without the fear of messing up. So the book helps bring out that creative side in them that they didn't know they had. So that there's no room or no need for that uptightness anymore. And it frees you. It frees you. People with type A's would understand what I'm saying.
Well, and anybody who looks at the book, it just sort of has a breezy spirit to it. And, you give people permission to experiment and enjoy and take, use the ones they like and leave the others behind. And just, it's a very open-hearted book that makes it easy for people to engage with. With that in mind, where can people buy your book?
They can purchase it on Amazon. And, of course, on my website, which is healthylifebegins.com.
Okay, and I'll definitely put that link in the show notes section of this episode. And your book is available both as a printed book and a Kindle book. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
And what about the essential oils? Where can somebody go to purchase essential oils or to learn more about them?
Well, they can go on my website, and there is a link that speaks about doTERRA oils, but basically it would be mydoterra.com right there, /Davis Endo.
Okay. And I'll put that link in there as well to make it easy for people to go directly to that.
And that's one word, lowercase, yes.
Now, those two, that's pretty direct and easy. Go to this URL, go to this web address, and you can find the book, and go to Amazon and go to this web address, and you can get the oils. What about the more difficult thing, perhaps, of finding the right raw food? How would you, what recommendations would you give people, no matter where they are, to be able to locate and select the right raw foods?
Well, you know what? I would just say start out easy. When I've taught some classes, what I always start out with is almond milk. It's so easy. Just, almonds in water and adding some other ingredients. And that recipe is in my book. Just starting out very simple with that, using that almond milk as a base for a smoothie. And then a salad dressing. And you can, not only in my book, but you can get those easy recipes online. And I would say just start easy and tinker and see if you like it. See how easy it is, and then grow from there. Because who knows, if you like it, you might want to end up being a raw food chef one day. Who knows? The sky's the limit.
Well, that makes me think of something. You eat nothing but raw foods. Isn't that correct?
I would say about 85% of the time.
Okay. But even at 85%, probably a lot of people are not quite ready to go to that extent yet. Can people benefit if they only going to try it every so often, or just make it maybe 25% of their diet? Are they able to benefit from this as well?
Absolutely, because it's a no-brainer for people to have a salad. They're your raw vegetables right there. Just a little olive oil. I mean, I wouldn't stay away from the dressings because they're full of fat and chemicals and things like that. You could make your own dressing, just a little olive oil and lemon juice, or whatever flavors you like. And I love Herbamere seasoning because it's organic and it has all the different spices in there. So just doing that, hey, you're introducing a raw salad. If you're doing it once a day, then do it twice a day. If you're not doing it all, then start incorporating one. You can just start as simple as that. But you're right. It's not everybody's ready for that significant amount of a percentage of a raw food diet, 85%. And I don't get religious about it. In the summer, I might do more. I might do 100% because you feel lighter in the summer. In the winter, you need warmer things. So I never get real religious about it. But, everybody can start off with that salad. And I feel like I said before, I think my book is perfect for those that just want to get in the kitchen and try something fun and easy and have a tasty outcome, because the recipes are simple. They're not hard. No, they're not. And then, and then you grow from there.
One thing I always notice when I'm eating correctly is I have more energy, not only because of the energy that comes to my body through the food, but also because it takes less energy to digest raw food. Yeah. And sometimes what I might eat, which I will not mention, I'm not even sure it's food. So no wonder my body has a hard time digesting it or figuring out what to do with it. So it's amazing the effect that eating raw food can have even on your mood.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And another important point to make is that, eating raw food is great, but we have to not eat in stressful situations. We live in a society where everybody's rushing around. They need stuff now and all this stuff. But we don't take time to chew our food. So, we don't want to prepare this delicious raw food and you're not chewing it well, and our body cannot absorb and assimilate it. So we really have to take time to just settle ourselves and just chew.
Just chew. That sounds good. That sounds like a title of your next book.
Oh, my goodness. I love it. Didn't they have a show on television called Chew, right? I think it's some kind of
I don't know, but it certainly sounds like it's something we could all do.
Oh, yeah. No matter how you're eating, just chew.
Well, Dr. Gail Davis, I appreciate you joining us today. Before we let you go, what if somebody wanted to reach out to you, like you mentioned, you teach classes and that kind of thing. What's the best way for them to contact you?
The best way is just to email me. That's perfect for me. And it's just my name in lowercase, Gail, Gail, at healthylifebegins.com. And, just reach out to me there and I'll get right back to you.
Wonderful. I appreciate you being so accessible. And again, I will put the link to your email address in the show notes portion of today's episode. Dr. Gail Davis, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Frank, for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.